And, we knew that they're a hard-playing team, and this is two hard-playing teams that have come in here and played the game the right way and made more efforts than us. Those aren't things that, we certainly can tolerate, but, we got to figure out why. And, a lot of it is our connectivity right now has got to be better, both ends of the floor. So.
Are the Minnesota Timberwolves destined to fail forever? Not even one season ago, this team looked like an up-and-coming roster full of superstar potential led by All-NBA player Karl Anthony Towns, floor general D'Angelo Russell, and rising superstar Anthony Edwards. However, like everything in this franchise, nothing good seems to last forever. Welcome to Courtside Culture, your home for all things NBA. Now, let's take a deep dive into the many reasons why in just one off-season this team has gone from a Western Conference favourite back to slugging it out for a play-in slot. One of the biggest problems for the Timberwolves has been instability at the top. Over the past few years, this team has gone through tons of changes in ownership, management, and coaching, which has created a lot of uncertainty and inconsistency. This lack of stability has made it unnecessarily tough for the team to build a cohesive culture and establish a winning identity. Recently, this seemed to have changed in the off-season, however, with new owners Mark Law and Alex Rodriguez purchasing the team for $1.5 billion back in 2021. With fresh young owners, a spark of promise began to emerge. However, it wasn't smooth sailing just yet. At the start of the 21-22 season, the team decided to fire their GM Gerson Rosas for what was claimed to be inappropriate actions in the workplace. A new head of the franchise operations was in order, and who other than renowned GM of the Denver Nuggets, Tim Connolly, a solid manager who is known for his keen eye for drafting gems such as Jamal Murray, Malik Beasley, and two-time MVP Nikola Jokic. A promising signing to the head office, or so it seemed. Connolly wasted no time making waves, and he started with possibly one of the biggest off-season moves in Timberwolves history. Now, Minnesota isn't an overly desirable free agency landing spot by any means necessary. Despite being a major market team and having an incredibly passionate fan base, the Wolves just haven't been able to lure any major top free agents to Minnesota. This forces the team to acquire new pieces through the draft, and it has worked out for them acquiring some of our big names such as Cat and Anthony Edwards. However, waiting for rookies to get up to speed while the rest of the team is trying to compete for a championship does make things tricky. Despite this, it seemed that the head office run by interim GM Sachin Gupta had things under control, trading for experienced point guard veteran Patrick Beverley. Pat brings a real no-nonsense approach to whatever team he has been on, and while may not always put up big numbers and has proven to be a polarizing player, he is well known around the league for his hustle on defense and energy he brings to the locker room. Two things the Wolves were desperately seeking. This paired with the star power the Wolves had acquired in the draft, and roster depth slowly building with hidden gems such as Naz Reid, Jared Vanderbilt and Jalen Noel, the Wolves successfully had a winning season for the first time in years. They beat the Clippers in the play-in tournament and were eliminated in the first round by the Memphis Grizzlies. This, however, was the team's second playoff appearance in 18 years. But like I said earlier, nothing good seems to last in Minnesota, and this was nothing different. On July 1st, 2022, the Minnesota Timberwolves traded for Rudy Gobert, a 3 times Defensive Player of the Year, 6 times All-Defensive Team, and 3 times All-Star for a motherload of role players and future draft picks. The one noticeable thing from the previous Wolves season was they lacked largely on paint protection, rebounding, and shot blocking, all talents that Rudy excels at, and makes them incredibly desirable for such teams. However, in doing so, they traded away Patrick Beverley, Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, Leandro Bolmaro, Walker Kessler, and 4 future picks. A massive gamble for the team that was either going to lead the Wolves to glory or total failure. As of this point, it's still early days, but the current results have left many Wolves fans frustrated, confused, and irritated once again with the franchise. And understandably too. They traded away the team's heart and soul while also sacrificing a lot of chemistry that can only be built with time. Rudy has looked like a shell of his former self, and at the time of this video the team has a record of 16-19, and unfortunately it doesn't look like they're turning the corner anytime soon. So what can be done to fix all these problems? It's not going to be easy, but the first step is to establish stability and consistency within the team. This was a major shake-up, and a bomb like this doesn't go off without a few waves rocking the boat. The team needs time to gel and rebuild that chemistry I aforementioned. D'Lo is a player who thrives on a traditional pick and roll, and it has been seen in the early games just how well him and Rudy run the floor together. More importantly, they need a new sense of leadership. A team with 4 potential all-stars in the starting lineup is a lot for any franchise to handle. But since being drafted in 2015, Cat has been the primary man on the floor for offense. But with only 2 visits to the playoffs in that stretch and an upcoming star in Anthony Edwards, It's clear to everyone that he needs to take a step back and let Ant transition into the team's primary scorer. Ant is a versatile three-way scorer who hustles on the defensive end and brings a level of energy and leadership that Cat just doesn't have. But it's not just about fixing the problems within the players. The Wolves also needed to find a way to connect with their fans and build a stronger sense of community within the organisation. This means engaging with the local community and finding ways to give back, as well as building a winning culture on the court. It's not going to be easy, but if the Minnesota Timberwolves can address these problems and make the necessary changes, they have the potential to become a competitive and successful team that can dominate the West and League for years to come. Thank you so much for watching this deep dive on the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is our first video on the channel, so subscribing would help us out immensely. Be sure to turn on post notifications as well so you can see future uploads on our channel and comment what team you want us to do next for a deep dive.